Evening, everyone. Tonight, everything changed. The Washington Commanders even have signed Stefon Diggs, giving Jayden Daniels another elite weapon just weeks before the season started. We'll break down exactly what this means, but we're also going to continue our full NFC preview with division winners, playoff predictions, and our Super Bowl contenders. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all those good things. It's the easiest way to support the show. On with the pod. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show of myself, Scott Hartley, and my brother from another mother. It's Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You all right, bud?
Yeah, man, I'm good. We got some nice news this week, so all good news, man. Yeah, all exciting. So yeah, I'm good. How are you?
All right, mate. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much to the Washington Commanders organization, Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. I really appreciate it, especially all us content creators out here. We love it because we sit there, we do our show research, we think, let's deep dive on the defense this week, Scouts, and then the show drops, and it's like, I've already set everything up on YouTube. Thanks very much. But yeah, it is what it is. So if you are listening or watching, by all means, come into the chat. We'd love to see you in here. We'll put up the best comments as we do. But the safest, the easiest way that you can support the show is just like, subscribe, and do all those good things. If we reach for 500 likes by the start of the season, 500 likes, 500 subscribers even, by the time we start the season, we'll give away a jersey of your choice. So by all means, get involved in that. We'll do the Wheel of Death, and then we'll put everyone's name on the wheel. We'll spin the wheel randomly, and someone will win a jersey. So something to look forward to there as well. But we'll get into it then, mate. The news, we've got the latest and greatest that have come out. So some roster moves, mate. Obviously going into training camp, we signed centre Trey Hill, which has been basically added bolster to the centre depth after injury to Nick Allegretti. He started 3 games in his career, and he's been in 25 games, mainly playing at guard and had a few at centre. This, to me, mate, is basically a camp body. What says you, Scouse?
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's definitely a camp body. I'd say none of these guys are moving the needle for me at centre. I just need to see more from Goldman. Obviously, I don't know much. I've not seen any tape, from the practices or anything like that this week. But I'm hoping that he's looking good. But I don't really know just yet. But this other guy, I think it's just a camp body. I think Allegretti's probably going to be out longer than you think. But I don't think it's going to be like long term. I think it's just going to be like a standard calf pull, which is 3 to 6 weeks, something like that. That's what I think personally. But what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's in the news of Allegretti's calf issue that he has got. I listened to Dan Quinn's press conference yesterday, and he basically said he's probably about another week or so away, which when you're into the back end of training camp, it's not an ideal situation to have this at the moment. It's probably the one big worry bead for me and for you. We've been talking about it pretty much the whole off-season. I know Simone, who's in our chat, she has a question on that. So
that's what I see.
Go on, mate.
Why rush him? There's no point at this moment. I mean, if he is the bona fide starter at centre, even though I don't like the idea, if he is actually the starter, then surely you want to get him right. So why bring him back in a week? Do you see what I mean? Like, you might as well give him 2 weeks or even 3, because by that time you're looking towards the end of August. Maybe he gets the last game of pre-season, maybe, and then into the season. It makes sense to me in that book.
It would too. So in the corresponding move, it was Trey for Trey. So Trey Hawkins III was waived. He has cleared waivers, reverted to IR, and then got cut. So he is gone. Best of luck to Trey Hawkins in whatever he does in the future. I'm sure he'll be selling insurance or cars soon, but there you go. It is what it is. Then we had Akello Witherspoon, cornerback. He retired. So he's placed on the reserve and retired list. And the corresponding move for that is we signed former Redskin Fabian Monroe. He has joined his former team. He's back as secondary depth. Thoughts on Fabian Monroe coming in?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can see this guy again. Does he move any needles? No, he's 32 now
No,
as
it
well.
doesn't. Yeah, I know.
According to the stats last season, he did quite well in a kind of a rotational piece at Minnesota. But I think personally, he is here basically to teach the guys the system because he was under Jones last year.
He was indeed.
For me, so I understand that. I understand the pick. Like the guy was available. He's probably not going to be expensive. Obviously, we didn't have a guy who thought that he was just going to decide to ride in the X Games in BMX and decided to retire to do that. We didn't expect that to happen. So I understand the move.
Was that the reason why? Was that the reason Witherspoon retired? Was it?
Yeah, but that's what I read anyway. I could be wrong, but I mean that's what I read. That he's going to be competing in the X Games.
Wow.
So he's obviously pretty good BMX rider as well. So it's kind of Obviously, I don't know. Maybe he's just thinking, I'm 31 now. I'm not going to earn the huge monies anymore in the NFL, and I'm still at a good level on the bike at his age. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Type thing. Go for it, and fair play to him if that's what it is. I mean, again, I could be purely wrong there, but I mean, from what I read, that's what he's doing. So
happy days. No, that's good. Other corresponding moves that happened then. Kane Medrano, our boy. There you go. There's his pick card. He has been reinstated to the active list from the PUP list, just so that people know Kane has agreed to actually come on stream and do a 10-minute segment with us. It won't be tonight, but we will obviously keep you updated and let you know when that is going to happen. Right. So shout out to Kane. Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. It'd be nice to obviously reunite him with his card as well when he comes to London in week 4. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, we're looking forward to that one. And then the big one that dropped yesterday, Stefon Diggs has signed a 1-year contract with the Washington Commanders up to $12 million. Got to specify it's up to $12 million, so it's not straight $12 million. It solves the wide receiver 2 problem that we have, Scouse. Let's go for it. What's your thoughts on obviously Stefon coming in, mate?
Yeah, it's nice. It is a nice signing. Obviously, yeah, still, you know what? My head's at who I would rather have had. They both bring their own dramas.
Yeah,
they do. I mean, Diggs is obviously a better locker room guy than say Brandon is, but in general, I always say he's a lot older actually. But it isn't just that; it's just kind of like the baggage he brings with his his family, shall we call it, and obviously he's living in where he's from. So. Which is a nice thing for him to do, but again, that also brings potential outside issues, if that makes sense. But yes, I am happy that he is bona fide wide receiver too, 100%. I mean, he used to be a 1 for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Now that he's getting a bit older, I understand him being a 2. But again, he was very productive last season. I mean, he was hurt. Didn't he get injured last season? He was hurt for a while, wasn't he?
It was only small. It was like it was a shoulder injury, so he'd landed funny. Had a shoulder injury. He missed 2 games.
Okay. So not too bad. I thought he missed a bit more, but his numbers look really good. He still got 1,000 yards. He still got 83% catch rate and stuff like that. Only 2 drops last season. So, and again, having Drake May throwing the ball to him as well. He's obviously he's accurate, but he's not JD accurate. You know what I mean? So this is going to be. This is going to be nice, man. I say, and plus, let's face it. I mean, look at New England. What do they have at receiver besides him?
Keyshawn Booty. That's about it now. Now they've got obviously AJ Brown, which we'll get into. But
upgrade, obviously, but in general, I mean, like last season, I mean, when Diggs was there, it wasn't really much besides Diggs. Really, I mean, it was May and the running backs and Diggs. That was basically the offense, wasn't it? Let's face it. So. It'd be nice to get more touchdowns from him, get more production that way rather than just yards. I don't think he's still that breakaway separator that he used to be. I don't think he's that. I think he's more of a possession receiver now.
Agreed.
I'm not saying he's not slow. I'm not saying he's slow, but he's just not that elite quickness type of burst where that he used to have when he was younger. You know what I mean? Which is understandable, But
on a 1-year deal, Scouse, this is the move really that we should make. I mean, I'm looking at this and saying to myself, Yeah, this is the best option that we had out there at the time. Even if this was early free agency, you would say that's a great signing. Do you know what I mean? Over 1,000 yards, as you said. Now looking at his stats, he's got 1,000 yards in 8 seasons. The only one he didn't have, he did his ACL halfway through the season.
Yeah,
and that was 2 seasons ago now. So last season was his first season back post ACL. So now looking at that, this is your expertise. You would say that the second year on it, post injury, as long as he stays injury, you'd probably be better. And you're looking a little bit more if he can stay healthy. 56% snaps as well. That's all he played in New England. 56% of the snaps. So it wasn't as if he was even, heavily utilized.
That's what I was trying to get at before. Was it because of injury or because
no, not at all. It was all scheme related. So they use Matt Collins a lot, as well, because he's more of a blocker. And basically, when I've listened to, and shout out to JP Finley and Mitch on their pod, the Beltway Football pod, they obviously said they had beat reporters on and people from within the New England setup today, and they were saying that basically Diggs is not going to block. It's just not going to happen. He's not that sort of guy, So people like Matt Collins were blocking for him, so he just didn't play because the system dictated that that's it. But when Drake May needed someone downfield, it was always Diggs. And he said, and then one of the reporters said, look, there was a couple of times that I saw where Drake May threw the ball and he's like, yeah, that's coming in the stand next to me. And then somehow he's plucked it out the air and, oh my God, he's got a further 10 yards. Played a lot in the slot as well. And obviously with David Blau's scheme and what we've been hearing, Terry's been lined up in the slot. Antonio Williams is being lined up in the slot. Diggs will be exactly the same. It's going to be a mismatch nightmare. And I think this kind of tips us in favor of getting back to where we were in 2024. I mean, you can look at the stats and you can have a look at it. I mean, I would say the last time we had this was D. Jackson, Pierre Garçon, probably. We haven't had a wide receiver that's played alongside Terry. And funny enough, JP did mention this, and I've got to give him his credit for this, and I went back and looked. There isn't a single wide receiver that Terry's played with. You add up every wide receiver that he's played with, except Deebo Samuel. Every single one of them do not have the same amount of stats in their entire careers as Stefon Diggs does.
No, they don't. But as we say, the pedigree is there with Diggs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's proven it throughout most of his career. And he was a number one. I say he was a true wide receiver one. He was number one at Minnesota before JJ was there and all these other guys. He was wide receiver one there. And then, he obviously got traded out and whatever, went to Buffalo. I think he went to Buffalo, didn't he? He was at Buffalo, wasn't he?
He did, yeah. He was at Buffalo from Minnesota,
yeah. He was one there. And then obviously, he gets a little older. So I understand why he's a 2 now. But again, yeah, I mean, him and Terry are going to destroy teams, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now with this is really exciting because we had the big question mark of wide receiver 2 only because of it's not just about production. I mean, of course, if you're going off upside and potential and all the rest of it, I mean, we've got some good receivers, but you haven't got that bona fide guy, that guy who's done it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like that experienced guy who's actually, I mean, the most experienced guy I'd say that is going to be on the team would have been Burks, but even then, you can't trust him because he's injury prone. So you can't trust him to be that wide receiver 2. This guy should be getting 10 snaps a game. That should be it. That's all you should see, Burks. And it's not because he's not good enough. He is good enough. He's got great hands. He's got the right size. He's got speed. He just gets hurt too easy. So you can't rely on that going into a season. So that's why I understood why they went to try and find somebody else. And I thought it was going to be Brandon, but they've gone for Diggs, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. It's a different type of receiver. Obviously, they're not succession planning for Terry after this season, because if they were, they probably would have went for Brandon, being honest.
Yeah.
So, but again, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. We should be in win now mode anyway. End of the day, this is JD's 3rd year. We've got 2 more years. Well, we've got 3 years of JD before his big super contract, which means that's going to destroy the whole, the ethos of us going on to win Super Bowls and stuff. So our time is now. We've got 3 years here to kind of really go for it. So I don't mind the more experienced vet as long as he's still got it, and he looked like it in training. Not with us, but as you see now in practice and himself and stuff, he still looks sharp and still looks twitchy. So I'm happy with it, to be fair.
So am I.
And it makes a big difference to our receiver room if you go through it. It really does.
It does indeed. We'll just catch up with the chat then, mate. So the first one is Paul. Paul Pupple. He says, "Love the two-headed snake now. Just sort out the centre. Absolutely. Be like Simone. Hey, gentlemen, just subscribed. Be like Simone." Ian says, 12 million is good for Diggs 1 year if he still has the legs. Karen says, let's hope he doesn't fart like the other one. She's mentioning Kane Madrano there and F.A. Obada. Yes, F.A., we did hear your secret fart. AR says, I'm happy the wide receiver 2 is solved just so I can stop seeing speculation updates. And then Gary's came in and said, what good lads, we did it, Arsenal. Wrong football, I know, for my arse off. Great to see you guys back at it. Diggs to Washington. I like the move, but I don't sleep on Chig. Absolutely. Gary again says, grade A. He has upswing, no injuries. The injury year before for the Pats, everything young, QB accuracy improved. So imagine how it's going to affect one of the most accurate passers. Exactly, agreed. And every young quarterback Diggs has played with, that is. So, yeah, you're right. And you were right in what you were saying there, Scouse. He's been with Drake May. He's now got Jayden Daniels. He was with Josh Allen as well when he was younger. So, you're with elite QBs as well. So you learn off them as well. And from what I've seen, obviously, yes, he has baggage. I've seen some negative stuff all over the internet, all over Facebook. This guy's a cancer. This guy's got so much going on. Divas are wide receivers. We know that. This is how they are. They're absolutely diverish on and off the field most of the time. Will we be seeing Stefon Diggs with his hands in the air like this going, oh my God, why didn't I get the ball? Absolutely, that's going to happen. No doubt about it. Not a problem. But when I see things like, he's chest to chest with like the coach in New England, who's sitting there saying, this is you're my, and they're like, you're my guy, you know what I mean? And he's going around and he's talking about plays. He's telling Vrabel, look, do you want me to get the messaging out? No, Vrabel's like, no, I'll do the messaging. You just be you play your game. And then every single player, every single beat reporter, everything I've heard from his time in New England was he was a good locker room guy. That's what we need. So does this affect the chemistry or the camaraderie or this bad MFers who, the raising hail, all this culture that Dan Quinn's building? Does it affect it negatively? I don't think it does. The Cardi B and off the field drama will leave part of that to one side and hope that doesn't get too involved. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this signing, mate. I really am.
Yeah, and it isn't a killer deal either. It's not going to destroy the finances in any way.
Still got 40 million, Scouse.
Yeah, I mean, why don't I understand what they're probably going to try and do is probably try and get JD on the end of the season, probably use that money then to try and extend him then if they can. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they can just find a good center, a guy who's proven. I understand they might waiting for some cuts that might happen from other teams, but again, it's one of them things. It's kind of like at this moment, man, it's just a gaping hole, and I always talk about it. It's so important to fight JD. JD's your star man. He's your franchise. Do you know what I mean? If he goes down, you've seen what happens. I mean, Mariota does well to a certain extent, but it's not the same level. And the most of the running backs the quarterbacks are running for their life. So the idea is if we can solidify that center. I'm left guard. I'm being a little bit greedy there, left guard as well. But if we can solidify at least the center position, I'm going to be very happy at the start of the season.
Yeah, we'll get into that because Simone put a question to us around centre, so we'll cover that a little bit later on. Gary's got another thing in the chat. He said, honestly, the off-the-field stuff is always a concern, but look how much of a culture change we've seen in Washington over the last 8 years. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I really don't. How do you think this affects the current wide receiver room then, Scouse? I mean, we have now McLaurin. We have who we know, what known commodity he is, especially obviously with him being injury-free, we hope, touch wood. We have Diggs. We have Antonio Williams coming in who can learn off these two vet receivers, which is brilliant. Luke, Jalen Lane, De'Ami Brown, Van Jefferson, and then there's a few others out there. I'm not saying that people will lose snaps. I don't think that will be a case because I can't see Diggs playing much in the preseason anyway. I wouldn't have thought he would come in and, start playing a half, a full game, a full preseason game. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the people are still going to get their snaps, but how do you think it affects our dynamics on the wide receiver room, mate?
Well, I think, it obviously changes it up. It definitely makes everybody else's, lights a fire under their ass besides Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it, because this guy's come in now and just going, no, I'm ahead of all you fools straight away. You know what I mean?
Well, on paper, he is. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
That's what I'm saying. But like all these other receivers should be going, look, man, we've been busting our ass this off season. I want to prove a point. So hopefully that will give them that extra motivation to say, look, no, Diggs, you're not just walking into wide receiver 2. That's my spot. You know what I mean? And that's what these receivers should be thinking in their own minds. I want to be the number 2 behind Terry. Let's go. And I'm going to prove it on every practice. So, yeah, I understand they're probably deep down not going to win the job in that respect. But it's one of them things in your own mentality as the receivers who are going, damn, your De'Ami Browns, your Van Jeffersons, the guys you're thinking, well, I'm probably pretty safe. Now I'm not. It's like, okay, see what I mean? So those guys have really got to step it up a little bit.
Absolutely agree. Scott G says, as Jesse wrote, 17 is a wide receiver 2 and now soon to be wide receiver 3. He would say 17 will be a wide receiver 2 is trending to wide receiver 3. No, he's not. He's
just joking.
Not.
But, yeah, man,
I know he is. I know he is.
I'm all over that. See, it's going to be nice, man. Like, because now you see it just makes it harder for the DB lines, whoever's coming up against us. Now we've got some serious weapons. We've got serious weapons. We've got Terry on the outside, and as you say, he's playing a lot in the slot in the off season now that we're in at the moment. So he's Blau saying he wants at least 10 targets a game for him. I genuinely believe he's going to get that. I really do. I don't think that's smoke. I think that's legit. And then you got your Diggs on the other side. Okay, he won't play every snap, as you say. He probably will be, a 60-70% kind of snap guy. That probably won't be realistic. And then you've got the other guys, the Burkses. You've got your De'Ami for the deep shot. If obviously to keep him. We're going to talk more about that in a bit, like him and JD and stuff. But then also you've got Chig, who's a beast in the receiving game. And you've got Rashad White, who's excellent in the pass game. So you've got a lot of weapons there, and I haven't even mentioned that the other ones. You know what I mean? Like it's genuine, man. This offense, it looks good. Besides 2 positions in my book.
I agree with you. I really do agree with you. It is left guard, and that's a battle between Chris Paul and obviously Brandon Coleman, and then center as we talked about.
I just don't think he's a guard. So.
You like Coleman as a backup tackle, don't you? That's exactly where you're going with you.
He's really, really good last season. We proved that he can hang out there. That's good enough for me as a backup / rotational guy. That's all I want to see. I want to see he can hang and not just hang for one snap. I'm talking hang for multiple games, and he could. So I've got no issues with Coleman. It's just a case of I just don't think he's a guard, and sticking him into a square peg to a round hole type thing again. I don't like it. That's why I didn't like when people were saying, "Oh, Coleman was going to get snaps at center." He was practicing with the snaps, and no, don't do stuff like that, bro. Just get yourself a proper specialist in that area. You got the money. It's not like you broke. It's not like you got nowhere you can go. You've got plenty of options. You could trade with somebody, even though I wouldn't. But you could trade with somebody. We've got picks for next year or the year after. Or you've got serious money now. You know what I mean? This doesn't make sense to me. Like to just leave it as it is. But that's what it is about, isn't it? That's why AP gets paid the big money.
It is. Gary says Washington letting TB go will be one of those things we won't learn until some years later. But TB isn't mad. He's with the Chargers, with Joe Holt and their new OC. And then he also said, think about this. Biadish. Yeah. Antonio Williams can now see another vet in action to gain more experience from when it's his turn. There's no pressure. Completely agree. And I honestly think that I'm surprised we got rid of Tyler. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. I am too.
But he was clearly to be fair, he was pretty bad.
He was bad
but again,
last year.
Look who was next to him, though, at the start of that season. Look who was next to him at guard.
Wiley and Al Shitty, they were the two.
There you go. Turnstile and Al Shitty. Do you know what I mean? So he was always onto a loser. There's only so much you can do on your own when these guys are leaving holes this big. You know what I mean? Like, it's So I felt bad for Tyler, but I think he's probably happy as thing you mentioned there. Gary mentioned that he's at the Chargers now, so I think he's going to be okay.
Scott G's cranked the Wi-Fi up, which is better than mine. He's done well there. Obviously, instead of using the rope and tin can as he normally would do, he says we see after joint practice and pre-season games what the state of centre is. I think he's mentioning there. Yeah, don't disagree with you at all. I think that is absolutely right, and I think that's where it is. Grade the signing then, Scouse. What's your thoughts on Diggs grading the signing? What's your thoughts on it?
I think an A. I genuinely believe.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an A too. I do too. I really do. I think it's solidified it.
He's finished. You know what I mean? It's not one of them where he's on the big time decline. It isn't one of them at this moment. So, and I say the money's right as well. The money wasn't ridiculous. Yeah, I'd say everything about it is decent. So as long as he can keep his head on the game and keep the Cardi B stuff outside and away from any of the media. Because what Washington D media is like, it's absolutely brutal. You know what I mean? Like you make a slight error out there. I mean, look at the Diggs and the Cardi B arguments outside that little restaurant.
Waffle House. Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It's like that was all over the bloody TV. And he wasn't even with us then. So that's the pressure that you get. You do, because it's nation's capital. You do get more scrutiny than other teams do via the media, not just our local beat guys that we know, but I'm talking, the bigger names. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, Paul. Thanks for being with us. Go and follow Paul on X. He is at Having a Radox. Good guy. But yeah, man, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. We'll get into our preview then, Scouse, mate. We'll turn away from the Commanders chat for now. We're going to do this over the next few weeks. I think next week we'll probably talk about defense, and then we'll talk about the AFC next week. This week we're just going to give a little bit of an overview to kind of cast the eye over the NFL as a whole, because it's been a big offseason for all 32 teams in the league, but this time we're going to concentrate just on the NFC side, so on our conference and our division and other divisions within there. We'll have a look at where we are. Obviously, we start off with the East. We won't look at us because we're going to talk too much about us as we move forward. But we'll start off with the Dallas Cowturds. We'll talk with them. So 2025 record of 7-9. Notable additions: Caleb Downs, obviously from the draft. Edge Malachi Lawrence from the draft. Rashawn Gary has came across from Green Bay. D. Winters, linebacker. Jalen Thompson at safety. Kobe Durant and Marquez Valdez-Scantling as wide receiver. The notable departures for them is Isaiah Odigizua, I got that right, and Jalen Tolbert as a wide receiver is also gone. So for me, Scouts, the best signing for the Cowboys is Kobe Durant this year for $4 million. Really cheap deal they got out of it. Obviously, they got Downs at 11 as well, who can cover that and help out with the corners. But 74.3% passer rating last year for the past 4 seasons. He's only 28. Him on one side, Deron Bland on the other side. That's not a bad corner room now, mate, looking at that. I mean, what's your best signing for the Cowboys then, mate?
I mean, for me, it's still Caleb Downs. I mean, I love that guy. I think that guy is top draw. Now, again, you might not be perfect in his rookie season, but yeah, as I say, you've got 2 solid corners there, starters, and then you're going to have him playing at safety alongside them. So, yeah, I can definitely see some serious defense play by Dallas, which sounds weird, doesn't it? Because they normally, give up 25 a game. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of quite an interesting one. But that back line, if they stay healthy, it looks legit. So yeah, man, it's interesting.
He was your big time guy in the draft. You really, really wanted Caleb Downs, didn't you? It was you were Kevin Costner in draft day you had that note saying Downs or nothing. That was you. That was you, wasn't it? Yeah, you loved Caleb Downs, man.
Yeah, I think Caleb Downs is awesome. I think he was probably the best player in the draft. And that was my opinion there. I think he's a brain. He's a brain of the defense. He's gonna make them a lot better on defense.
I'll let you go. I'll let you start with this one. Worst signing or worst re-signing or coaching move or something with the Cowboys.
Well, I think the worst thing they did was let a Ziggy Zua go, whoever his name is.
Yeah, defensive tackle.
I think that was a problem. I know they've got some. They got some other guys in there, but again, I think it's a little bit weak there now. I think up the middle. So yeah, I think you can run on. I think you can still run on Dallas. I just don't. I just think the deep shot's going to be kind of out. Really, I think that's going to be the difficult bit. You're gonna have to play it in between. Soft zones in the middle, so short to intermediate routes. That's how you're going to beat him with the pass game. But again, for me, yeah, I think it's just one of them things for me. I just think they're going to miss a Ziggy Jua. If I can't even say his name right, but
I know what you mean. Agreed. Well, for me, it's a guy called Terrence Steele who they restructured and re-signed. So
he's a guard, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's a guard. Yeah. He was an undrafted free agent who had multiple ligament surgery at the end of the 2022 season. Then he was okay for a bit, and then he was. They cut him, they could have saved $13.3 million against the cap, but instead they signed him on a 3-year extension for $33 million, and they're paying him this season $13 million in cash up front, and then salary on top. So it works out to be just over $20 million. So if they cut him tomorrow, it would be $22 million in dead money if they move on from him for an unproven left guard. That is quite a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
I thought left guard. Who plays left guard? It isn't him, is it? Normally Steele, isn't it?
He might be a right guard actually. I'll have to. Yeah, you're right. I thought he was right guard. I'll have to have a look exactly where Terrence Steele plays.
I thought he played right tackle. Steele. I could be wrong with that again, but it's what was his name? The first rounder, Booker.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think he's
Terrence. You're right. Terrence Steele is a tackle.
Yeah.
So that's on me. That is. Looking at this, I thought he was a left guard. So apologies for that.
Might be paying him probably because you think he's probably decent when he's healthy, and he's cheap for a tackle. So,
right tackle by the looks of it. So
yeah, I thought he was a right tackle.
Interesting. Okay, we'll move on to the Cowboys then. Sorry, the Cowboys. We'll move on to the Giants. Even that's where I'm getting at. So 4-13 last year. Notable additions for the Giants: edge rusher Arvell Reese, offensive lineman Francis Maui-Noah, Isaiah Likely at tight end, DJ Reader at defensive line, Shelby Harris defensive line, Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker, Greg Newsome at corner, Patrick Ricard fullback, Darnell Mooney wide receiver, and Malachi Fields in the draft as well. Were there notable departures? Wandale Robinson, wide receiver, Daniel Bellinger from tight end, Dexter Lawrence, who we'll get into, Bobby Okereke at linebacker, and Cordell Flott from corner. Mm-hmm. So you want to start with their best move?
Yeah, I think Tremaine Edmonds. I think he's their best signing as a free agent signing. You know, he's a proper defensive leader. We all know how good he is. The guy's solid. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think it took a lot of balls to get rid of Bobby O, being honest. So and then he replaced it with this guy. So again, I think it's an upgrade. I think he's really good, Edmonds. I think in the right system, this guy's top draw. So yeah, I think that's the best addition. What do you think?
For me, the best addition I've said is actually getting rid of Dexter Lawrence. I know it sounds stupid, and people will go, what the hell are you talking about? You got that for the 10th pick in the draft, which is real high, draft capital, and you replaced him with Francis Maui-Noah, who's probably going to be, a tackle of 5-10 plus years there. You've lost him. You've got now a tackle who can play for a long time on a cheap deal, but the Bengals didn't give Dexter Lawrence much money. It was a modest upgrade on his trade. So it's clear that they've saved money from Dexter Lawrence going, and then they've replaced him with younger talent on the offensive line. And if you got a quarterback like Jackson Dart, like you said earlier on this show in particular, the first thing you've got to do is keep your franchise and the merchandise, keep him safe.
He's on D-line, isn't he?
I know he is, but to replace him with Maui-Noah is what I'm saying, because that's what you used the pick for. You now have a tackle for them, 5 + 10 years, So as long as he's good, which we expect him to be, he was the best tackle in the draft.
Yeah, it's probably good. It's probably worth it, as in the upside there is probably worth the actual trade. Sometimes you can lose a good player, and then you can pick poorly. But I think they picked quite well, to be fair. I think they've done a lot of good stuff. I think they've made a lot better this year. I mean, we haven't even mentioned this Likely. I think he was the second guy on the list for me of best signings. they've done a lot of good stuff,
well.
and don't forget,
we don't know what Arvo Reese is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a jack of all trades, Reese, because he's a little bit of everything, isn't he?
Linebacker, edge rusher, don't know.
Edge rusher, do a little bit of everything. I think they'll use him that way as well. I think they'll use him that in a hybrid type of system, like we're doing with our kind of linebackers to a certain extent. But yeah, I think don't forget they're going to be well coached this year.
100% agree. Yeah,
one of the best coaches available. One of the best in the league, John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just going to be they're going to be a lot of people's dark horses this year.
I get it. We're going to be the NFC beast this year again. We absolutely are.
So. I think it's going to be a tough division this year. Agreed completely.
The worst for me, I'll go on the worst because you did the worst last time. Extending Joe Shane. What the fuck are you doing at GM, man? Why on earth did you extend this absolute bell end? Let's call him like he is. This guy is probably one of the worst GMs in the entire league. We saw it on Hard Knocks. What an absolute tool of all descriptions. I mean, honestly, I can't say a good word about this guy at all. He is ridiculous. His track record since he's been GM, 22, 45, and 1. 4 years in New York, and you give him another 4 years?
Yeah,
Giants are going to giant, mate. They're going to do it. They're going to keep doing it, aren't they?
I think I'm trying to understand this crazy idea by keeping him, but I think it's a case of they've got the quarterback there that Shane actually picked, and then let them grow together type thing. Which is a lot of times you see that, a rookie quarterback, and then let him improve along with the GM as well as the head coach, because the GM's going to try and get the players around him to try and help him out, because that's his quarterback. You see a lot of times that when it isn't the case like that, it can work against the quarterback, but also the GM as well. So I understand the kind of continuity side of things. I understand why they kind of kept them on. I mean, and this offseason, I think he's done a good job. I think this offseason's been really good so far. I know it's only on paper. We don't know what it's going to be like on the field, but from what I've seen, I think they've done really well this offseason. But yeah, you're right. For the last 3 years, they've been a joke. Let's be honest.
They have, yeah. They really have, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we'll move on to the worst team in the entire division. I cannot stand the Philadelphia Eagles. 2025 record of 11-6. Notable additions: Mackay Lemon even. Who from the draft, Devontae Wicks, wide receiver, Hollywood Brown, wide receiver, Jonathan Grenard, edge rusher from Minnesota, Reek Woolen, cornerback, and Eli Stowers, tight end, out of the draft. Notable departures: Reed Blankenship, safety, Nakobe Dean, linebacker, Jalen Phillips, edge rusher, and obviously wide receiver AJ Brown. Do you want to start with best signing, or do you want to do worst? It's up to you, mate. I don't mind.
I don't mind. I think the key addition, is Grenard. I really do. I think he's a high quality pass rusher. So, I'm more for the pass rushers. So, yeah, they needed it, especially after losing Phillips. So, yeah, definitely. I think Grenard's going to do good things there. To be honest.
Yeah, for me, I've got someone slightly different. I think Reek Woolen's the best signing there. $12 million deal, 1 year.
I think he's a walking penalty. I think he's a walking penalty.
I know you didn't like him at all at the Seahawks, did you?
He is a holder all day long, bro. So
well, they lost. They lost. They were throwing early teams last year on Adoree Jackson. That's the way they were going. Obviously, you got Quinyon Mitchell on the other side. So that's one side kind of locked up. We know what Quinyon Mitchell was like last season. It was good. And then obviously in the middle, you've got some very good safeties there as well. So I don't think it's it's one of them. My wife says it was the mayor of Philly who can't even spell Eagles. But yeah, there we go. It's all good.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was awful last time. It's so stupid Philly fans are, though. They win the Super Bowl and then they destroy the whole city.
Yeah, and start eating horse shit. I mean, what are you doing? Like, genuinely. I mean, if you've ever been to Kensington Avenue, you'll understand. But yeah, it's it's grim.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more change and movement on the Eagles than what people think. There's been a lot of change. AJ Brown's gonna be a huge miss. I don't care what anyone says. He always takes the double teams all the time. You have to really. One-on-one with AJ is a problem, for your cornerback. It's a problem. Even with a poor passer like Jalen Hurts is. So, yeah, now that he's gone, and now we're looking at what's his name? Davis, is it?
Dontavian Wicks and Hollywood Brown.
No, I'm talking about the main guy.
Mackay Lemon.
No, the main guy. The guy who's there now. Before.
Oh, yeah. Number one.
Devonta Smith.
Devontae Smith. Yeah, of course he is. Yeah,
that's the one I'm on about. Yeah. So I mean, he is now wide receiver one. There, we're going to see what he's about. Can he handle the double teams or not? He never got double teamed ever because AJ was taking all that heat. So let's see if he can step up to be true wide receiver one. Some people think he's got the skills, but let's see if he can do it against double teams on the regular and still get the big numbers. So if he can do that, then yeah, I'll give him his props. Until then, you've got that, and then you've got Mackay Lemon, who's a hamstring problem, who hasn't trained all off season, so he's going to start off slow when the season starts, when he is available. And who else did he got on receiver? As you mentioned, Dontavian Wicks. Does he scare anybody?
And Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown. I mean, this guy was good maybe 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, as a defense, I'm not scared of them boys. I'm not scared of that.
I look at our wide receiver room there and say that is so much better than this wide receiver room.
Oh, massively.
On paper. Yeah,
on paper, yeah, and depth. Because Mackay Lemon could be anything. He could be amazing.
He could be amazing. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't know. You really don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting with him. And same with our guy, I suppose, with Williams. But again, if you're going for a first round pick like Mackay Lemon is, you're hoping that he is going to be the real deal. But that doesn't mean he necessarily is. It might take him a year, maybe 2 years, even to get used to be a high level player.
Plus, the other thing in Philadelphia is their quarterback's dog shit. So he's not going to really get. He's not going to give you.
He's not a good passer at all.
He really isn't.
And this is it. This is it with he's probably I genuinely believe he's probably the most overrated quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I mean, I know there's a couple of guys out there. You might say, "Oh no, it was this guy instead," But again, it's like he's up there. He's in the top 5 of like the worst quarterbacks of winning a Super Bowl.
Wow.
I genuinely believe that, because say all he's got is a tush push. He's strong in his legs and he always guarantees it. Like 9 out of 10, it's virtually guaranteed. It's 9 out of 10. It's successful. That's probably the most guaranteed play in the league. Being honest.
Okay.
And I don't like it. But again, we should change.
Let's look at it then. Division winner. What are you doing? What are we saying for the NFC East?
You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go for a shock. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas number 1. Eagles 2. Both on the same record.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to go with.
Third.
I'm with third. I think we might. It's going to be tough, man. I think they're going to be like 11-6. I think that's what they're going to be. I think they're going to do records, and then I think we're going to be in third with a 10-7. So I don't know if that'll make us to the playoffs or not. I don't know, but I think we're going to be about a 10-7 team, something like that. So
I'm going to go with us winning the division.
Yeah,
Dallas second. I'm going to go New York third, and I'm going to go Eagles bottom. Honestly, I think they'll fall apart. I think they've lost their offensive line coach in Jeff Stoutland, who's been there a long time. He's obviously developed all these offensive linemen. We've got no idea who's coming on behind them. I think Sirianni gets fired, and I think that it all falls apart. Well, I hope so anyway, and I'll sleep well at night if that is the case. But there you go.
If Sirianni gets fired, you never get another NFL job because you can tell like the guy's like. He's just one of those dudes, isn't he? Like he can take that fat prick of a security guard with him as well. Bye bye,
Dom or whatever he's called. Anyway, can you tell I like the Eagles? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We'll move on to the NFC North now. So Chicago Bears last year they were 11-6. Notable additions for them: Dylan Thieneman, obviously safety, Devin Bush linebacker, Kobe Bryant at safety, Garrett Bradbury at center, Jedrick Wills offensive tackle. Logan Jones was another center stroke guard that came in. Notable departure, DJ Moore at wide receiver, Tremaine Edmonds linebacker, Drew Dahlman center, Kevin Byard at safety, Jaquan Brisker at safety, and Nashawn Wright as a cornerback. Feels like more out the door for Chicago for me, mate, than this offseason, rather than getting people in. I mean, are you banking on a good season from Luther Burden III again? Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Well, he's got to step up, isn't he? Let's face it. I mean, the love for Caleb Williams is insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It really is. Like it's a different level insane because, okay, they did well last season, right? But the thing is, they still didn't do much. Let's face it. 11-6 or whatever they were. But the thing is, they didn't win the division, did they? They got knocked out in the first round of playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think they did win the division with 11-6.
Did they win the division? Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good feat, to be fair. But in saying that, if that's the case, fair enough. Hold my hand up. But a lot of times when you see Caleb Williams doing all,
and they didn't, and they got to the divisional round.
They just he just throws it up. It's not real like amazing skill. Like I just think he throws it up and it finds its way there more often than not. Now you could say that's skill. I think half of it's luck. I really do. I mean, you've seen somebody the training of him, man. When he's doing these short, quick passes, he can't even get it there. Like he's accurate in the deep ball, but awful at the short pass. Like what's that about? So, he's only good when he's running around like a madman. Like playing hero ball, playing like he's playing on a Sunday, like a Saturday league team. You know what I mean? Like I don't get the love. I don't get why people are saying he's a top 10 quarterback right now. I just don't think he is. I think he's got talent. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's that. No, I think JD's.
I wouldn't say he's top 10. Is he top 50? Is he top 15? Probably. Yeah, I'd probably say he's about there, Caleb Williams. He just needs to prove it again this season to see where he's gone. They're going to be okay this year. They're going to be okay again, the Bears, but I don't necessarily think they may win the division again by default. But I think that what was a very good division last year is going to degrade quite.
I still think this division is still going to be really strong.
Do you think so?
I do. Yeah, I really do. I think there's going to be there's a lot of teams who have upgraded players for sure. So upgraded. So I'm all for of course. Minnesota got an awful quarterback. Let's face it. They got JJ McCarthy, and now they got Kyler as well. And it's like, what are you going to get from them guys? You just don't know what you're going to get from Kyler, do you? You could get the one season that he was really good at Arizona, or you could get awful.
You could do, yeah.
But again, you still got the stud of Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer. So
true. We'll get into that.
And they've also still got Brian Flores too. So these things are still going to be huge for Minnesota. So I don't think there's anything that is. They've also got Jawan Jennings as well, helps the receiver coach. They did struggle a little bit last year. But yeah, even then, Minnesota, I don't think they're a bad team.
I don't think they're that bad either. I mean, we'll get into them in a second, but we'll move to Green Bay. They were 9-7 last year. Then notable. All right, we could do Minnesota then. Let's look at Minnesota. Minnesota were 9-8. Their notable additions, obviously, Kyler Murray, as we talked about, Jawan Jennings, Caleb Banks in the draft, Jake Golladay also in the draft, linebacker, James Pierre, cornerback, and Dominic Orange also in the draft. We looked at him a few times in our mocks. Notable departures, Javon Hargrave, D-tackle, edge, Jonathan Grenard, Jalen Naylor has gone at wide receiver, and Jonathan Allen has gone as well. So yeah, I mean, the success and failure of this team basically it does fall on the shoulders of the very small shoulders of Kyler Murray, who walked past me, and I was like, "Dude, I'm taller than you, and I'm 5'7", which is just insane."
Yeah, it was insane. We walked past that day. It's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, you are smaller than we think." JJ
McCarthy's obviously still there, so it's not a bad backup quarterback. But are they going to try and kind of battle it out? I don't know. I mean,
I think they'll got to say to each other, "Look, man, this is an open quarterback competition. Whoever plays better is going to be in." But again, competition always breeds better play. Usually,
iron sharpens iron, as they say. Scouse, iron sharpens iron.
Usually, yeah. I mean, I think they've got some decent players. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be like, wow, they're going to go deep Minnesota, but it's kind of like I think they're potentially a wild card team.
Coaching as well, but Flores defense Very
That
good.
defense is
You know
no
what I mean?
joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to keep you in games, even if you can't get the points on the board. It's going to keep you in games. That the Flores defense is no joke. So
Absolutely. Green Bay Packers then 9-7 last year. Notable additions for them: Javon Hargrave, Zaire Franklin linebacker, Brandon CC out of the draft cornerback, Trey Smack kicker out of the draft as well. Sky Moore has come in as well as a wide receiver. Departure: Malik Willis QB, Romeo Dobbs wide receiver, edge rusher Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker linebacker, Rashi Walker offensive tackle. Offensive lineman Elton Jenkins and Devontae Wicks, wide receiver, have all departed. There's quite a significant amount of departures there. I'm looking at that wide receiver room and thinking, not much there. Obviously, there was a first-round wide receiver the year before. Who was it? Golden Matthew, who didn't do a great deal. We saw him obviously at the draft.
He got hurt and then he came back like half fit and then struggled.
Mm-hmm. Rashawn Gary's a massive miss there for me, mate. That is a big, that's a big part of that edge rushing room that's disappeared. And obviously Quay Walker as well. At linebacker, he's a big miss as well. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to fare this year.
I think Green Bay are going to struggle. I think they're going to be like the one in probably the one team really that I think are going to struggle a lot in this out the 4 teams in that division. I think they'll probably finish 4th. I do, and which is a shock really because you never see Green Bay last, but I can just see it. I can just see how it's going to go. I say you've lost a lot of talent and they haven't really replaced it, and plus they've got Jonathan Gannon at defensive coordinator now.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Might say, oh, but he was all right over at the Eagles.
Arizona, wasn't it? Yeah, Arizona as head coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was at the Eagles, wasn't he?
He was Eagles before that. Yeah, you're right.
When they had a good defense, all that crap, and then he gets a head coaching job and he didn't do anything. Just like everybody else, he goes to Arizona. It's like a head coach in death suit, isn't it? Really,
Death in Death Valley. Well, who would be surprised?
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it killed Cliff off. It's killed John Gannon off. So there's a few head coaches struggle over Arizona.
It's LaFleur that's over there, isn't it? The other brother. He's the new head coach over there, Mike LaFleur. Yeah.
Did you see I saw some of the footage today. On X.
Oh my word! I saw it too.
It was horrible. Wow. It was horrible. It was like it was watching like high school players.
Someone caught Brissett, didn't they? As well, one of the edge rushers.
Yeah, knocked him over on his ass. Like, what are you doing, mate?
Ball just goes straight up in the air. I was like, wow. Okay, we'll get into the Cardinals in a bit. Yeah, but,
but that was just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I don't think they've done a lot. I don't think they've done enough Green Bay to be like true contenders this year. I think they're going to be maybe a 6-7 win team. So
agreed. Okay, last one then. Detroit Lions. They were 9-8 also last year. Notable additions: Blake Miller, offensive tackle in the draft. Cade Mays at center. Derek Moore, edge rusher, out of the draft. Isaiah Pacheco at running back. Roger McCreary, DB. Notable departures: David Montgomery, running back. Alex Anzalone has gone at linebacker. DJ Reader has gone at defensive tackle. And Meek Robertson has come to us. And Taylor Decker has retired, I believe, from offensive tackle. So it's like they've always they've just replaced the departures rather than got better. I think here,
but Detroit's a solid squad anyway. Yeah. They're solid either way. Yes, as you say, you lost Decker. What did he do to go and get Blake Miller in the draft? Mm-hmm. And they're going to play him at right tackle. The only thing that's going to mess up those, that's going to make Penei Sewell move from right to left. So that Decker's gone. So that's the only thing that can mess up the offensive line a little bit there, moving like your star right tackle, moving to left. So there's that. This could cost them a little bit at the start. Pacheco, I think that's a really good replacement for Montgomery.
Yeah, it's back again, isn't it?
Back for back, but also similar type players.
Anzalone was a good linebacker.
I like Anzalone. Yeah, I think he's solid in the right scheme. I think he's a solid player, and I think they will miss him there. But I still think they'll win an 8-9 win team.
I agree. I think they're there. Aiden Hutchinson gives you that enough, doesn't he, on that defense? And obviously, if Derek Moore is as good as we think he's going to be, at the top end of the second round, it'll be a very good edge rusher coming in there. Okay, well, we'll look at that in predictions on this one. Then, who's the division winner out of the NFC North?
I'm probably still going to go Chicago, just about, but like just about. I think they're a 10-win team.
So you're going Chicago 1? Are you going Detroit 2?
Yeah, and then Minnesota 3.
Minnesota 3, Green Bay 4.
Like 8-9 wins each, so that could go either way. Them two, I think.
I'll flip the other way round. I'll say Green Bay 3rd, and just because of Jordan Love, I think he's good, and then Minnesota bottom. They'll be 4th. Okay, on to the NFC South then, Scouse, mate. We'll get onto this, and I hope you're still with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that stuff. I know what we're talking, but people are like, nah, we're not listening to this shite. You can carry on. Carolina Panthers, they won the division last year on 8-9 record. Their notable additions: Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle; Monroe Phelan, offensive tackle out of the draft; Luke Fortner at center; Chris Brazil, the second wide receiver out of the draft; Devin Lloyd has come in as a linebacker from the Jags. Edge rusher Jalen Phillips has also come in, and Lee Hunter at DT. Their notable departures are Rico Dowdle running back, Sean Robinson DT, and Austin Corbett off the offensive line. Not much really lost there, but they spent $120 million on Jalen Phillips and $45 million over 3 years on Devin Lloyd. A lot of money spent, mate. A lot of money spent.
Yeah, a lot of money spent. And to be fair, Carolina needed it. Let's face it. They needed major upgrades across the board. My only concern now is Rico Dowdle going. Because he was their main running back, wasn't he? He was a 1,000-yard rusher last year, stuff like that. So, who's he gone to? Do you know who Rico's gone to?
I'm not sure, mate. I'd have to obviously look at where that is.
But then, who's the other running back? Didn't he have another running back as well?
Yeah, they did. I can't remember exactly. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of their.
It's just
this
is a poor division. I think this is one of the worst divisions to get in the NFC.
It always has been.
Yeah, it's been that for a long time, and I don't think it's going to change too much. Being honest, I think it's going to be between Carolina and Tampa for the division. I think.
Agreed. I completely agree with you.
I mean, I do like Devin Lloyd. I think he's a really good linebacker, sideline to sideline. I think he's a really useful addition. And obviously Jalen Phillips. I don't think he's worth 120 million, but he's a good edge rusher. So they definitely needed that, especially losing. If
he can stay healthy, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's always been the problem with him, hasn't it? Last season he stayed healthy. He looked real good for the Eagles. And that's hence where he got paid this year. But can he keep it going for 2, 3, 4 years?
It's Chuba Hubbard is the running back.
Hubbard. Yeah. Okay. I mean, he can handle running back. I mean, I don't know who else they've signed.
They've got Jonathan Brooks. They've got Trevor Etienne as well, Travis's brother, and they've got AJ Dillon as well.
Okay, so I mean, they're not huge names, but they're pretty. No, they're serviceable running backs, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's.
And then the wide receiver room, you've got Ted McMillan, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, and then at tight end, you've got Tommy Tremble as well. And then outside of that, you've got like John Mechie, not a lot more out of the wide receiver room. But it's the defense I'm looking at there. I'm saying, okay, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? I mean, Trayvon Moerig's very good. J.C. Horn's very good at corner. Nick Scott at free safety is good. Jalen Phillips. You got Princely. I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but he's pretty good. Mike Jackson's there as well. Devin Lloyd, Patrick Jones. You know what I mean? There's a lot there. That Derek Brown as well. You know what I mean? As a defensive end, they've got a fairly decent team. You know, and they have a fairly decent team there.
Yeah, I think it's one of them, isn't it? And plus, they got Freeling, didn't he, in the draft?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
probably the second best tackle, probably behind the guy that you mentioned. Although did he go? No, he went 19 overall, Freeling.
Yeah, he went 19.
But yeah, it's I say there's still some holes there, but again, it's definitely looking better. And I say if they can keep Bryce Young upright, they might have a chance again.
That's it.
I think they were 9. I think they were 9-8 team, something like that. I wouldn't be shocked if they were 10-7, but more than likely 9-8.
Well, they won it last year on 8-9, so that
Yeah.
kind of says it all. They're kind of going to be there or thereabouts again. On to the Bucks then, mate. They were 8-9 also last year, but obviously Carolina had the tiebreaker. Their notable additions: Ruben Bain Jr., edge rusher, Josiah Trotter, linebacker, both out of the draft. Alex Anzalone's also gone there at linebacker. Ashawn Robinson's gone there at D end. Kenneth Gainwell's also gone there at running back. And their big departures is Mike Evans, Levante David, and Jamel Dean from at corner.
Yeah, well, the big one there is Mike Evans, isn't it? You know, when you lose a player like that. Now, I understand he's not the same player as he was a few years ago, but he's still solid, you know what I mean? And you're going to miss him in the red zone, for sure. And also, there's a big problem with Mayfield as well, isn't there, at the moment? They're saying about it not being paid and stuff like that, and they're not looking after the quarterbacks and So that's going to that might come to blow up in Tampa Bay's face, that one. So, but Ruben Bain's probably the biggest one, best player in the off season. They probably picked up along with Anzalone. I think they're the two.
Agreed.
Guys, and they're both on defense. So again, I think the defense is going to be a bit better.
And Vita Vea wants to trade. They've still got Emeka Ibuka as well, who's obviously had a very good season last year. So, you know, it's not too bad. Bucky Irvin obviously as well at running back, and they've replaced obviously Rashad White, who's come to us, obviously replacing him with Kenneth Gainwell, which it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. He looks good in 88. Yeah, you talk about Diggs. Is that actually been announced as his number, Scott? Let us know if that is the case. I haven't seen that yet.
That's his all. That's not Scott who said that.
Oh, that's all. Sorry, he looks good in 88. Yeah, maybe it's off our thumbnail, but that's the number I put him in. It's actually River Craycraft's number at the minute, so I'm sure River Craycraft's gonna want to say, "Fuck off, bro! You're not having my number."
You're gonna say how much you want for 88, and you'll say $1 million. Did you see that guy for the Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
See that no mark rookie fella said that. You know, he wanted 17, and he went, I want $1 million. Like, who the hell are you, mate? And he ended up getting it for nothing. You offered him 17 grand, and he said no.
Nice.
I want $1 million for the number, and he went. And after that, the main pro just took the shirt off him and just give it to Devontae Adams anyway. And he got it for nothing.
Fair enough.
It's like, what are you doing, man? He could have got himself 17K there, but no, blew it.
also out of this division on 8-9 were the Falcons last year. So 3 teams on 8-9, which is nuts. Notable additions for them: Tua Tagovailoa, a quarterback; Jawan Taylor, offensive tackle; Brian Robinson Jr. Now, please, if you're a fantasy player, do not pick B. Robinson from Atlanta with the 2nd overall pick, and then realize it's Brian, not B. John.
What did you do?
No, I didn't do that. But I'm looking at this. It's so weird. Their notable additions is basically like Washington's backups. Brian Robinson Jr., Jahan Dotson, Olamide Zaccheaus, and then they've also got Avion Terrell. Departures-wise, Kirk Cousins, Tyler Algier, Darnell Mooney, and David Onyemata.
Look at the big one. The big one for Atlanta, though. They lost the stud linebacker that they just signed. I can't remember if he picked him in the draft or he signed him. I can't remember his name now. He blew his ACL. Is it Walker?
Oh, right. Yeah, Walker.
Quay Walker. Did he actually go to Atlanta?
I'm not sure where Quay Walker went, actually.
Let's have a look at
Atlanta linebackers. Harold Perkins Jr., Jalen Walker. That's who you're talking about.
Yeah. A decent, one of their mainstays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he tore his ACL 2 days ago. Yeah.
So they're all devastated. I mean, I've got a friend who's a Falcons fan. And he's fuming. So, it's like you are going to struggle. I mean, the cool thing about them is that they're going to have the Terrell boys both playing corner at the same team. But I think it's pretty
exactly.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty sweet.
But yeah, I do think these guys are going to be a 6 to 7 win team max. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be in the. I know you could say all these teams are bad, and it could end up being all of them again on 8-9 or something like that, or all on 7-10, and I might make the playoffs soon as the division winner. But it's I just think
Genuinely, I think 7 wins might win you this division. That is awful, isn't it?
Potentially, I still think 8 and 9. I still think a 9 and 8 wins it with Carolina. Personally, I think they'll be a bit better this year. But you're not wrong. It could be the other way. It could be an 8 and 9. It could be a 7 and 10. You know, I really could, because this division is just not that good.
Not it. It's not it, is it? It's not it. Yeah,
it's not it. No, it's a bad division at this moment.
Okay, moving on to the final one in this division, New Orleans Saints. They were 6-11 last year. Notable additions for them: Jordan Tyson, wide receiver; Travis Etienne Jr. at running back; Noah Fant, tight end; David Edwards on the O-line. They've got Anfree Jennings, edge rusher; Caden Ellis, linebacker; Tyree Wilson, edge rusher; and Christian Miller as DT. The only real major departure there is Demario Davis at linebacker and Alontae Taylor as well, corner.
Yeah, I think Demario Davis is one of them guys. He's going to be what I think Dallas has in downs, as in, I know there's slightly different positions, but what I mean is that he's the brain, he's the heartbeat of the defense. I think he's going to be there for Dallas, and I think that now that Demario Davis is gone, I think that's huge. The defense is not going to be it this year on the Saints. The Saints are going to be a bad team anyway. Jordan Tyson, you just don't know what you're going to get. You know, the guy's got upside, wide receiver 1 upside. The problem is he's injury prone. You just don't know what you're going to get. If he stays healthy, great. You know, they've got a great 1-2 punch there with Chris Olave and him. You know, that'd be really, really useful for Tyler Shough at that quarterback. But again, it's one of them things.
That's a question as well, Tyler Shough. I mean,
he did start to look better throughout the season as he got more game time. But again, obviously he's not going to scare anybody, is he? Let's face it. You know, if your defense come up against him, you're not going to go, oh man, I'm scared of what Shough can do against us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not one of them things yet. He needs to prove it a bit more on the regular. But again, I think I think a 5-win team.
Yeah,
I think agreed. A 5-win team.
5 or 6. That's kind of where I've got them as well. Yeah. So who are you going for this division then? 1 to 4. Carolina first?
Yeah, Carolina first, Tampa second, Atlanta third, Saints fourth. I think that's what I'm going to go
Agreed. With. Can't disagree with you. We'll move on to the final division then, NFC West.
It's probably one of the best divisions, which is interesting.
It is, yeah. Absolutely. The reigning Super Bowl champions, 14-3, Seattle Seahawks. Notable additions for them: Jadarian Price, running back; Bud Clark at safety, both out the draft. Edge rusher Dante Fowler Jr. is now there. Safety Rodney Thomas II, and they've got Noah as well. Noah Igbenogany has signed for them. Notable departures: Kenneth Walker, who went to Kansas City; Kobe Bryant, obviously we talked about him as well; Reek Wallin and Boye Mafe all went. So quite big departures there. And it's obviously whether these people who've come in to replace them. I mean, if you're giving me Dante Fowler Jr. or Boye Mafe, there's no contest there. It's Boye Mafe every day of the week.
It's definitely
Jacques Charbonnet's obviously still got an ACL as well that he tore in the playoff run. So
yeah, but look what they picked the guy in the draft that I love, Jadarian Price.
I know you did. I know you did. Yeah.
I think he's just as good, if not better, than the guy who went at 5.
Jeremiah
Love, yeah, I do. I genuinely believe he's just as good.
Both Penn State got both.
I mean, obviously, Love got all the love. Pardon the pun, but
Notre Dame. Sorry, shall I say?
Notre Dame, they played in gold. Yeah. But Jadarian Price, I think, is a better route runner. I think he's going to be brilliant in the passing game. I really think he can be really useful. Now, the thing is here with Seattle is Price is not the same. He's not. I don't think he's Kenneth Walker, that type of running back. So that's going to change up a bit there scheme wise. I think keeping Shaheed's a big one. Right, Shaheed. I think he's really useful to keep. Great deep threat, and obviously you need someone to help out the star wide receiver there in Jigba. So, yeah, I mean, I still think the Seahawks, they've lost some players, but I still think they're still going to be solid, man. They're still going to be a solid.
Oh, they're going to be a good side. Still going to be a good side. Absolutely. Don't disagree with you at all. We'll get on to them then. They are the current favourites for the Super Bowl, the 12-5 Los Angeles Rams last year. Notable additions for them: Trent McDuffie, cornerback; Jalen Watson, cornerback; Ty Simpson, obviously out the draft at 13 to be the potential replacement for Matthew Stafford; Myles Garrett in a blockbuster trade as well. Basically, Les Snead said, "Fuck them picks. I'm doing everything I can to get there." And then notable departure: Rob Havenstein off the offensive line, who's been a mainstay. He's been there forever. Jimmy Garoppolo's gone as well, and DJ Humphrey was also gone as an offensive tackles. I mean, they're the betting favourites to win the Super Bowl for a reason. Got a superb roster, Scouse. Last year, they only allowed 9 100-yard games, and then you can put in all-pro corner Trent McDuffie, and then you double down and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to sign Jalen Watson too. I mean,
and then don't forget. Oh, by the way, look who trained today or yesterday.
Aaron Donald. I saw it. Oh my god!
So you're going to have Aaron Donald, and you're going to have
Myles Garrett on the other side.
Myles Garrett. I mean, that defense is going to be scary, man. I mean,
the rich get richer, mate. The rich get richer, don't they?
They have gone all in this season, man.
100%. 100%.
They know they've only got a couple of years left of Stafford. Let's face it. He's only got 2 years left at the top.
I think Les Snead and I think Sean McVay and Stafford, I think they're all on the out, and they know they're on the out. So they're like, hang on, can we trade all our chips in the table and say, that's everything, we're going all in on, or put it all on black, or whatever it is you're going to do. We'll get Myles Garrett, we'll get Trent, we'll get Trent McDuffie, we'll get Jalen Watson, we'll make sure we solidify this defense, we'll make sure that we're going to win games, we're going to have the most solid there. They already got an amazing offense with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, all these sort of guys who are out there flying the flag for them. As you said, Ty Simpson comes in as well as potentially the backup, and Stafford's got probably 2 years left. If you can get 2 Super Bowls out of the next 4 years, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem.
I mean, and don't forget, the Rams have done this before, and it worked. They won the Super Bowl that year, when they went all out.
They did indeed.
They've got a history of doing it and making it work, and then they've obviously.
And it took them 4 years to get back to where they are now.
Yeah, because they burned all the picks, and that's what it does to a team. If you're going to go all in, you better win it, because if you don't, you're going to be in the doldrums for the next 3 years. And that's the risk. Now, again, they've done it before and it worked out. So, so why not do it again? And as you say, McVay, he's getting bored. You can see he's getting bored.
He's talking about going on being an analyst and all that sort of stuff.
ESPN, $100 million deals offered as soon as he retires from head coaching and all this type of stuff. And, when you got that kind of corn being thrown at you, and and it's guaranteed for whenever you can be asked to retire, and do that job. He's gone, well, I might as well just go all in. I'm not here to make the playoffs. I'm here to try and win it. And why not? And why not do that? And I've got like respect for that. But he better win it, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of pain next year. But if they don't win it, they have a bad season, you might see McVay walk.
He could well do. San Francisco EMF 49ers, love the electromagnetic fields there. They also finished the season last year on 12-5. Notable additions for them: Mike Evans, an old man with a knackered knee next to an electromagnetic field pylon.
As well as the Evans, he's injured at the moment. So.
Christian Kirk, one other wide receiver. Odigizua went there. Dre Greenlaw at linebacker. And then they got Striblin in the draft at wide receiver, a Romeo Height edge rusher in there. And then they also signed wide receiver Deebo Samuel this week after the Ricky Pearsall injury.
And they kept Greenlaw as well, which is important.
It is important. Departures-wise, Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, Brian Robinson Jr., and D. Winters. What are your thoughts on the 49ers, mate?
I think the Niners, they're going to be... they're going to be definitely a winning team. They're going to have a winning record. I do think
when you got Christian McCaffrey, mate,
you've got a chance, haven't you? You've got a chance of winning games. You got him in there, and again, but look at the defense he's going up against. Look at that Rams defense now. Look
mate.
At the defense, who was the best last year, even though he might have lost a couple of dudes. They replaced a couple of them too. So,
and that's just in your own division.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like how do you get out of that division? How do you actually make the playoffs? I mean, it happened last year. 3 of them out of 4 made it. But again, and again, that could happen again. That really could happen again this year. I'm just hoping
really
it's going to be us. It's going to be our division because I think we're going to finish third.
I hope so too.
So we get the playoffs. But yeah, it's a tough division.
It is a tough division. The Arizona Cardinals made 3-14 last year. Notable additions, obviously, Jeremiah Love, Carson Beck, quarterback, Chase Bacentos as well, interior offensive line, all from the draft. Kendrick Bourne, Isaac Samalo, Elijah Wilkinson, Tyler Algier, running back, Gardner Minshew of the mustache, and Roy Lopez at D tackle there. Notable departures, Kyler Murray, Greg Dortch, Michael Carter, running back, Calais Campbell, D lineman, Jonah Williams, Kevin Beecham, OT, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Jalen Thompson also left as well. So a lot there that they've left, but a lot is resting hugely on the number 3 overall draft pick at running back, and Mike LaFleur, obviously the hiring of a brand new head coach as well. Yes, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is going to be tough for them, and that's why people are thinking, well, why the hell did you pick Love? You know, I understand you probably want a player to build around because at the end of the day, they've got no players to build around, let's face it. So they're probably thinking, well, we can get a stud running back. But the thing is, the running backs, this isn't the 1980s and 90s when the running backs were the premier position, you know, where your bell cow was getting, 25, 30 touches a game. You know, I mean, he still might get that because they've got nobody else on offense. But let's face it, what they liked last year. Now I know it's a different head coach, but they've also got Hackett as the offensive coordinator. So
they have, yeah.
So it's kind of case of like he still likes to throw the ball. And Brissett last year was throwing the ball like 40 odd times a game. It was crazy. Some of it was even more than that. Some games
it was
crazy.
madness.
No wonder he got smoked, and he was getting beat up all day. Fair play to Brissett to keep hanging in there, but it's like, man, they didn't have anything. They were awful on the offensive line. They didn't have much. Just whatever Brissett could throw at it. Now they've got a stud player, but again, you've got no whole line. I know they only got a guy, but again. No, they got. I think they signed a guard. I think Samalo. I think it is Samalo.
Yeah, Isaac Samalo. Yeah, he's a good player.
He's decent, but again, he's not going to make that offensive line, last to, 15th. You know what I mean? It ain't going to do that. So, yeah, Love's going to struggle, I think, unless they use him a lot more in the passing game, as in like those quick screens and stuff, because he's not going to get any push up the middle. He's not going to get anything, so he's going to struggle there. And they've got nobody else really. No one out there in that team scares you. So it's. Yeah, they are going to be a bad team this year.
Okay, we'll finish off our NFC preview. We'll do NFC champions first, Scouse. Who's your NFC champions going to the Super Bowl?
Rams.
Yeah, Rams for me too. Who's the runner-up? Who are they meeting in the championship game?
Washington.
Yeah, that's me too. That's exactly who I went for. Dark horse. Who's your dark horse out of the NFC?
The true dark horse that no one's talking about, the Giants.
Agreed.
Really?
And biggest disappointment.
San Fran.
I'm going to go Detroit. I just don't think they're going to have as good a season as everyone's thinking. I just think they'll drop off. I'm not saying they're going to be awful, but I think they might win 7 games and that'll be about it. I just don't think they're going to be as good as everyone thinks they're going to be.
Interesting.
There you go.
They did get like a 7 and 10 season.
7-10 season, yeah.
I'd be shocked. But yeah, I mean, it's like anybody, anything can happen. And at the start of the season, it's all guesswork, isn't it? Let's face it. So.
It is indeed. Right, we'll get into our fan questions then, mate. We've got a fair few here, so I'm going to have a quick look back at what we've got through. So thank you to everybody who submitted a fan question.
There, weren't they?
They were, mate. They were. Yeah, apologies for that. So both Cam McDonald and Jesse kind of said the same thing. So Cam, shout out to Cam. He said, "Who drops out to make space for Diggs? Do we go with 6 or 7 receivers? What's the makeup of the roster depending on how many receivers? Personally, I'm leaning towards 6 and trying to stash a couple on practice squad." Jesse says, "Now that Diggs is here, how many wide receivers do we keep on the 53? And how will Terry feel about being wide receiver 2? He's just winding you up on purpose. He knows he's winding you up, and that is a joke. Jesse genuinely doesn't think that Terry is a wide receiver too. But how many wide receivers are you looking at, mate? Are you sticking with a 7? Are you going 6?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm thinking it's going to be 7 is because Jayden Daniels loves Diami Brown.
Yeah,
with me, I'd be thinking I'm cutting this dude. But
he's on a cuttable contract.
If Jayden loves him, and he's going to fight for him, isn't he, when it comes to the roster cuts? So I think it's going to, because they always say that they got this kind of like this great chemistry, or like instantly from even when he was here originally, and I think Jayden just loves him. He loves him as an outlet for him. So, end of the day, you're going to keep your quarterback happy, aren't you? So, I think he's going to be on the team where I don't think he would have made it.
So who's your 7 then that you pick, that you're picking? Obviously Terry Diggs, that's done.
Yeah. Burks.
Williams. Burks, that's 4.
Yeah. Diami. Luke.
Is it Luke and Jalen? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Exactly the same 7.
Because
I think we keep 7.
You would keep 7. I do think if you go with 6, it should be Diami Brown missing out. But I just think with the way it is with Jayden and stuff like that, I think he'll fight for him, and I think they'll keep him. I don't think practice squads. I mean, you could look at practice squad for someone like that, but again, I think there'll be somebody who probably want to take him.
Someone will want him. Someone will want Diami Brown.
I just don't think that it's worth it, as in to take the risk and see if he stays in the practice squad. So if Jayden loves him, he's gonna try and keep him on the team. So, and then, you're gonna have to lose a position.
And I think there is ways around this. Either it might be Callie Manis doesn't make the team as a 3rd quarterback, and we don't take 3. There'll be maybe safety room. You look at that as well, which could have a surprise cut there. You might take 1 less offensive lineman because you think you've got people. You've got people who will be going back and forth with guards, or they've got versatility positions like your Wileys and your Algrettis and Coleman's, who we talked about.
I do think it'll be off the offensive line. I think if you're going to have to nick a player from, as in you're going to have to potentially
running back
in the squad, I think we take. Well, obviously that's a different question, isn't it? But I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but to stick with the receivers, I do think it'd be 7, but only because Jayden will keep Diami around.
I agree with you. I think there is 7, and I think there's 5 out and out wide receivers, and I'm including Diami Brown in that. And then obviously you've got 2 for specials, so you're going to have Jalen Lane as your punt returner, and you're going to have Luke as your kick returner.
Luke McCaffrey's getting better as a receiver all the time.
I know that.
I think he's ahead of.
Burks for me, ahead of Burks.
I think he's ahead of Burks. I think he's ahead of Diami. Being honest.
Agreed. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I just think Jalen Lane's dropped off a bit, maybe towards the bottom end of that 7. I would still probably put him above Diami Brown. Diami Brown is the 7th wide receiver, in my opinion.
I believe that as well. I believe he'd be the 7th guy. I think they will pick 7. I think it's. I say there's nobody there that you're going to risk putting on the practice squad. There's no, what? I think if we can stash him, that'd be all right. Like, you're not going to do it to Antonio Williams because someone will pick him up instantly.
No.
Burks, you could potentially do that, but someone will take the upside on him.
Yeah, of course they will.
If he's healthy, that someone will take him. Diami might be
someone's going to take him.
But again, I think somebody will take him. And then you've got Van Jefferson. No one's taken that. So you might go, practice squad for him. You know what I mean? If I'd be shocked if someone came in to take him off waivers. So I'm just thinking. I think 7 there. And I think there's not a lot you can risk with the practice squad potential.
Oh, you think Van Jefferson and Treylon Burks are cut? Wow, interesting.
I don't think. I think Burks has got all the attributes. I can see why Tennessee took. I can see why Tennessee took him to replace AJ Brown, because he is that kind of stature.
6'4". He's he's big body receiver.
He's got good hands. He's got speed. It's just a case of he just can't stay healthy. That's his problem. If he stays healthy, that guy is a bona fide wide receiver too. I genuinely believe that.
I do too. I absolutely agree with you.
But he has to stay healthy and put it together game in, game out, rather than just random miracle catches. And he's got to stay healthy. That's the problem. And I think being that he doesn't have to start anymore now we've got Diggs, I do think that he could be eased into the team or have a certain amount of snaps. You know what I mean? Like a lot less, because he's on a big contract. So you're not going to miss out from that angle. He's $20 million a year. You got to play him. No, it's not under that. So it's a case of 10, 15 snaps maybe. And
agreed.
Keep himself healthy throughout the season, and maybe in some more playing time if he continues to produce. I like Burks. I do. I think he's got everything. It's just his health. That's the problem.
Yeah, me too. That's the only problem. Next question is from Scott G, who is in our chat. Hopefully he's not asleep after we've done our NFC preview. He said, will Scouse be relieved he didn't buy a Mike S jersey by the end of camp?
Why? Because Mike S is getting torched. Is that why?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's been getting torched.
I have a Mike Samra Steel jersey as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, to be fair, I'm still not giving up on Sam Stroll. I just think a lot of this is, offense should now be taken over. To be fair, in practice, they've been to get a bit more time. I say an offense should always lead because they're the ones who know the play.
Absolutely,
the defense always has to play reactive to it. So, if there is a one-on-one chance there against, really the receiver should win most of the time, unless you've got a ridiculous cornerback, who can stop it all. But very rare you see those guys. I mean, I think Summersville's decent, but again, he's getting torched mostly out wide. What I've seen on the videos. So it's like we know Mikey's not a true outside corner. We know that. He's more of an inside guy. That's what he was in Michigan.
Yeah, I think Rasul Douglas has locked that down.
Yeah, I think him and Amos are going to be the starting outside corners once Amos is back. Obviously, with Amos, we still don't know any timeline for him, do we?
Not at the minute. All right. Well, thank you for your question, Scott. We'll get into Simone's question now. I hope she's still in the chat with us. He said, with Algretti's calf injury, knowing calf injuries can often develop into Achilles issues, should AP already be looking for more veteran insurance at centres? I know we signed one, but we need more. Who is the best option still on the market? I know you're on top of these things. So looking at the market, Scouse, Graham Glasgow is the only real interior offensive lineman who's played centre as a starter, very old, 10-year vet, but he brings stability to the starting lineup. Obviously, still got Ryan, I think he's like 34. Ryan Bates as well is versatile, capable of playing centre, has started for the Bears at centre. He's got 15 games at centre under his belt. Jayden Daniels has also started for both the Dolphins and the Steelers. He's got 27 games behind his belt at centre. And then you're really, really struggling. I think if they're going to pull the trigger on a centre, which we've talked a lot about because that's the glaring hole now on this team, they do it at cuts. Now, bigger cut teams that we know have a lot of centres. Baltimore have a couple of centres. You've got New Orleans have got 4. The Raiders have got 3. The Raiders actually, but the Raiders even drafted 2, which is like, and paid Tyler Linderbaum.
Aren't they going to play guard though? No,
I'm not sure.
Okay. But they're not going to.
I honestly don't know.
Put Linderbaum, so
but they were bad. They were like low draft picks. They weren't like, I'm picking you in the 3rd round, or I'm picking you in the 2nd round. It's like, if you've got a 6th or 7th rounder, maybe. I think we're just going to have to wait till cuts, and we're going to have to wait to see what Trey Hill can do for us, and see if Nick Algretti is obviously the starter and how he holds up. Because I don't want Julian Good-Jones anywhere near this team.
No,
we've seen it.
I don't think we've seen it. He's not it. But to be fair, I've seen it with Algretti. He's an okay backup. He shouldn't be starting. Being honest, he shouldn't be starting anyway. But the problem is, I think you're right. I think we're not going to trade for somebody, so we're not going to waste the pick. No. So, and then as you say, who's out there now? A guy who's 34, 35, who's probably banged up as hell, who's probably can't even No one's signing for a reason. Yeah.
Well, everyone thought he was going to retire. So
that's what I thought.
You know.
I thought he actually retired, but then you're saying he's still out there. So, I mean, if he hasn't, then fair enough. But again, I wouldn't take a shot on that. I think the guy's obviously battered and bruised, and his career's probably up. So for me, I'm definitely looking at the cuts. And seeing who shakes loose from teams. Because as you say, there's a couple of teams that might have a potential centre that's going to get caught who's better than what we've got. And that's where I'm looking, 100%. As I say, definitely, at the moment, you can get away with the players we've got. I'm hoping Matt Goldman produces. I'm hoping that he could be the starter. I'm hoping that he's at the level, but we don't know. I've not seen anything of him yet. I don't know what he's like.
I mean,
but again, I do think there's a coming.
There is. If it was me, and I'm looking at the free agent market of who's left, and you want to sign someone off the street, Simone, to answer your question, I would go for Jayden Daniels, who's former, obviously, Miami and Steelers center. He's been with the Bears as well. I mean, he's 28, 6'4", 320. His games started is 85. He's played in 91 games, so he's experienced. Do you know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. Actually, at center though, he has played 36 games in total at center, so there is starting experience there. But looking at what happened with him in Dolphins, the reason he was cut was pure cap purging. So he signed a 3-year, $24 million contract in 2025. It's like, hang on a minute. What are you trying to do here? So obviously the Dolphins need to cut players for salary.
Douglas State to his head from these guys. That's why he cut him probably more than actually,
But is that all on the centre? I don't think that's all on the centre.
That's all on the centre, but he's definitely part of the problem, isn't
he? Of course he is. Yeah, I mean, but you can argue the toss. You could argue the toss on it with us. When you look at Algretti, you look at Wiley, you look at Chris Paul as well. You know what I mean?
I blame all them for our quarterback's injuries. Yes.
So
their job is to protect them. If my quarterback goes down here from a tackle from somebody, that's on the offensive line. Depending on obviously where the play happened. If he rolls out, even then, if he's rolling out, he shouldn't be happening unless he's been flushed out, which means there's still an O-line problem. You see what I mean? That's the reason why these guys get paid big money. These tackles are premium positions, tackles. They should. I don't understand. It's not an easy job, but it's like your job is to make sure our quarterback stays upright and doesn't get hurt. That's your job.
Absolutely agree.
I see my quarterback on the floor. That's down to you. That's down to your offensive line. It's down to the scheme potentially as well. You could blame potentially scheme or even just a bad decision from the quarterback. But again, a lot of times it is mostly on the O-line. If you give it any quarterback enough time, any quarterback in the NFL will dice you up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's.
If they got enough time and a receiver gets half open, these quarterbacks can lay it. Even bad ones, even Jalen Hurts can do it. Do you know what I mean? Like if you give him enough time, he's kind of getting away with it because you've had 10 seconds to throw the ball. You know what I mean?
Even Jalen Hurts, I like that. That's good. Yeah. That's good. Darryl here says my wide receivers are Terry, Diggs, Antonio, Luke Diami, and Jaden Bradley. I like him. Jaden Bradley's getting a lot of noise in the obviously in the training camp at the minute. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
And you're only going for 6 as well. That's interesting because you're not gonna let Jalen Lane go because he's your punt return stud and he's a stud. He scored 2 last year. We've not had that type of thing since, even Crowder did it once, Zacchaeus did it once, but this guy's done it twice in one season. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not many guys we've had for a long time who could be a genuine danger at punt return for touchdowns. So, yeah, I don't think you're dropping Jalen Lane.
I agree with you. Right, well, that just about does us, Scouse. If you've enjoyed the show tonight, everybody hit the like button, subscribe. If you're new, share it with another Commanders fan just to try and get our numbers up. We appreciate every single one of you for joining us. Anyone who's put a question in, we hope we answered it. Obviously, come back to us on socials if you've got any more. Don't forget to obviously comment on the bottom. And until next week when we do our AFC preview, we will catch you then.
Bye.